for all your life. UNA University, manifesting all your dreams. With paradise, your land is home. Writing contracts on your own. Protect your loved ones every day. Knowledge goes a long, long way. UNA University for me. UNA University for me. UNA Paradise all your life. Diversity all your dreams. Land is home on your own. Every day, long, long way. UNA University for me. Yes, UNA. Yeah, welcome to your paradise, the place you love for all your life. With UNA University, you're manifesting all your dreams. Welcome. I'm yours truly, Deep Marie, in the house representing for United Nations from America, UNA Republic, UNA University. Welcome. Yes. UNA. Yeah, welcome everybody. Welcome. So glad to have you here. I am yours truly, Dee Marie, representing for UNA University, UNA Republic, United Nations from America, where we help you find your social freedom, financial freedom, and most importantly, your spiritual freedom. Let's go. Welcome everybody. So glad to have you here. All my people on TikTok, YouTube, X, Twitch, Rumble. Let's go. We are broadcasting live on YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and also don't forget we are on UNARepublic.com. UNARepublic.com. You can find us there. If anything happens here, it goes down, go to UNARepublic.com. That is our backup. That is our system, our site. So we're not pulling this down. So if anything happens, go find us there. And also be sure to like and subscribe. Send your information to us so that we can have you. If anything happens and we need to contact you, want to keep in touch. All right. So once again, I'm yours truly, Diva Laree. I want to welcome everybody. We are broadcasting live, TikTok, X, Twitch, Rumble, and somebody else. YouTube, TikTok, X, Twitch, Rumble. Yeah, those 5. All right. So welcome. And don't forget, we are always on UNARepublic.com broadcasting live. Okay, so I want to welcome everybody. Thomas is in the house. Welcome. Oh, you know what? I need to get to my TikTok people. Where you at, TikTok? All right. And then we're going to get into this because
the older you get in this lifestyle, the more you kind of
I have a session that I would like for us to go over. And I'm responding to some of the sessions that we put in our live. So stay tuned. Let me get to my people. Because I'm responding to some of the topics we've been putting out concerning some of the contracts that we went over.
I'm responding to.
1 second. Guess I'm live. Okay. So I'm just trying to see my TikTok people. All right. So we've had quite a few responses as far as when I'm speaking about Morocco and how the United States of America or America, this territory does not belong to Morocco and never did. This is a falsehood that people are putting out. And I've warned you all, especially those of you all who say you are the original people of the land. I'm warning you not to say these things out of your mouth, because somebody is trying to continue to steal your land. And if you continue to say that you're something other than who you are and the people of this land, well, they're going to continue to steal it. All right. So you've got to understand the game that's being played here. And we're going to go through it today. Our topic for today is reading ancient contracts with comprehension. The topic for today is reading ancient contracts with comprehension. All right. So I'm going to go through it in a second. I need to get on this trust package. I just need everybody to know we have the 2026 Trust Summit coming up June 15th, 16th, 17th. The Trust Summit is coming up June 15th, 16th, 17th. Okay. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in June. I want you to be there because we're going through the trust, how it's created, what it is. We're also going to go through the trust for those who have businesses that you care to put under trust. For those of you all who have families and you care to create a family trust, you're going to want to be in this summit, and it's going to be huge. So get ready to get your tickets. 15th, 16th, and 17th of June, get ready to get your tickets, all right, because that's going to be a very powerful summit that we do. We don't do these often. We don't do them often at all. So you want to be a part of this summit, June 15th, 16th, and 17th. For my people who have businesses, this is going to be very powerful for you. You want to get your businesses under trust and create your complex trust. We're going to go through that. For my families, or people who have families and you want to put your family under trust, you want to be a part of this. Those of you all who just care to have yourself under trust because you've been wanting to gain your sovereignty, be a part of this summit coming up in June. All right. This is a trust, your standard trust package that comes with UNA membership. It comes with all of your documents needed for your trust, a membership badge, as well as your allodial ID, where it has your spiritual name on it, as well as a QR code where you'll be able to access your documents. There'll be your certified documents anytime you need them. Okay, so if something happens, they get lost, just go to the site. All you need to do is scan this and you'll be able to get to your documents. Okay, also it comes with an education. That's very important because we don't want you to just have these tools. We need you to know how to use these tools, and we're going to put them on record for you. All right. So this is the membership trust. If you want to get this, go to unauniversity.com, unauniversity.com. All right. My people on TikTok and Twitch and X, name, number, email. Leave your name, number, email, and we're going to invite you to our workshop. All right. Now, for my beginner law book. Okay, you can get this beginner law book on unauniversity.com. This is the UNA beginner law book. If you get this physical copy, it's going to come with the hierarchy of laws. It's also going to come with the universal laws. It comes with the vibratory frequency chart. Okay, all of these come with it. With the physical copy, you can also get the ebook. But if you get the physical copy, it's also going to come with the civilization cycle and the societal totem pole. Now, all of these are in the book, but we're giving you extra copies because we need you to put them up on your walls, on your mirrors, on your refrigerator. So these laws can become a part of you. So we want to welcome you to find these at UNAuniversity.com. UNAuniversity.com. You can go there and get the book. Also, this wonderful, powerful book here, Tapping into Your Supernatural Powers by Diva Laree. This is at UNAuniversity.com. If you women, you've been asking questions and wondering why things are going wrong and how you tap into your powers, Tapping into Your Supernatural Powers. Brothers, this is a good book for you as well. But sisters, those of you all who have a whole bunch of questions, they're going to be answered in this book. All right. So welcome everybody. Once again, I'm yours truly, Diva Laree, and I want to welcome you. Make sure you like and subscribe. TikTok, you all share. Thank you so much for the love. I am manifesting. All right. I am manifesting. Yes, you are. Mahogany, welcome. And let me see who else in all my people in YouTube and TikTok, Twitch, X, Rumble. Welcome. Go and find us at unarepublic.com as well. Also, you can broadcast. If you have any messages you want to send, you can send messages from the unarepublic.com site as well. Let's get into this. Our topic for today, reading ancient contracts with comprehension. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back of the room. Reading ancient contracts with comprehension. That is the topic for today. We're reading any contracts with comprehension. And this topic is spawned from a conversation I had with a Moor who creeped into my inbox, all right, on Facebook. So I want to talk about what this Moor said and sent to me. And let's get into this issue that I've seen with so many people sending documents to me, and all they're doing is regurgitating. I need you out there who really want to know the truth about history. I need you to be willing to read for yourself and do your own research, because what you're going to find is that these Moors, they're going to give you, or these so-called Moors, that's what they're calling themselves. They're going to send you all this document. They're going to regurgitate things, and they're going to flood your inbox with all kind of mess, but they never answer the question. You know how they say baffling with BS? All right, you can't baffle me with BS, because I'm going to read. And that's what I get a lot of people doing. They'll send me documents. They'll say, oh, this is what this means. And this is what this means. The same. This is why last week we went over George Washington's letter to the Sultan of Morocco, which is what this person tried to bring up to me as well. And I read it word for word. We went through it line by line. And there is nowhere in there where it's saying what these so-called Moors are claiming it says. So we're going to get into this conversation that I had with this person. Please, if you have any questions, please leave them in the inbox. If you have any comments, I'd like to hear them. And I invited this person on, as a matter of fact, since he had so much to say or wanted to convince me that the Americas is Morocco. Well, come on the session live and let's have a conversation. I have so many people doing that. And it's like, listen, if what you're saying to me is that I'm wrong, I'm giving you the opportunity to come here live. Let's have the discussion. Bring your evidence, because I'm going to bring mine. And then we're going to discover what the truth is about what's going on in this land and why you should not be calling it Morocco. All right. So I'm going to go through what this guy says, and and if you have any questions, once again, I invite you to leave them in the comment section. All right. First of all, Danielle, put this on the screen for me. Oh, you already got it on the screen. Okay. So first of all, here's this person. They come into my comment section, and we're going to take this line for line. He says, peace, sister. I watched your video with you saying there is nothing you have as evidence saying that the United States is in Morocco, right? So then I say to him, that's right. That's what I said. And if you have any evidence, I would love to see it. He says in the Moorish Treaty of 1721, well, first of all, he sent me this. Let me show you this, what he sent me. Okay. First of all, he sent this list. And he says, are you familiar with this list? And so let's take a brief moment and go through this list. These are treaties concluded by Morocco from 1631 to 1906. All right, so there's the treaty between Morocco and France. Morocco, France, Morocco, France. What does that have to do with the question that he or the subject or the topic that he's saying, where he's saying that the United States is Morocco? Nothing. These are treaties between Morocco and France in 1631. That's got nothing to do with the Americas or this land known as the Americas. Okay, treaty between Morocco and the Netherlands, 1683. Nothing to do with the Americas. A treaty between Morocco and Great Britain. None of that has nothing to do with the Americas. Treaty between Morocco and France. Okay. Morocco and Denmark, Morocco and Netherlands, Morocco and Spain. All right. None of these have anything to do. This is what I mean when I say they're throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. The first two treaties dealing with Morocco and the so-called United States, 1787 and 1836. These are peace and friendship treaties that we have gone over several times. And as I've stated several times, first of all, those treaties do not deal with land at all. Second of all they deal with is people, the people. If you are a Moor, a subject of Morocco, or you are a citizen of the United States of America, well, that's all it deals with. And any ships concerning United States or concerning Morocco, then those are what the treaty dealt with. We've gone over that several times, and I don't want to go through it again, but that's what those are, and they don't deal with land. Third of all, none of those treaties are signed by the original people. And so we've already talked about this. If there is a contract dealing with the land, it has to be signed by the people of that land. None of the original people signed either one of those, peace and friendship treaty. And fourth, if you're claiming that the land belonged to Morocco, why do we need a peace and friendship treaty in the first place? There is no treaty needed. It's my territory. What I say goes. So then do as I say. No treaty needed. So where is this whole thing dealing with any of this thing in this list where Morocco owns the United States? Hold on. And I want y'all to stay tuned, because I want you to pay attention to what happens when he's throwing all these things at the wall trying to make it stick. All right. Morocco and Great Britain. Morocco and Spain. Morocco and France. Morocco and Sardinia. Australia, Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, France. What? In the ham sandwich? Does this have to do with Morocco supposedly owning anything in the Americas? Okay. And one of the things that I had to tell him, because this again is what these so-called Moors will do. They will spam you. And that's exactly what he did. But watch. Stay tuned so you can see what I mean when I'm talking about how people need to learn how to read with comprehensions, because all these people do is they're just regurgitating some points that people gave them. They give out these JPEGs. They give out JPEGs to them, and then they go and spam people with this JPEG. Look at this, and look at this, and look at this. I said, sir, where is the evidence showing that Morocco owns the United States of America? All right. So then he goes on to say this. All right. So after he's telling me all the west continent of Africa is all the territories over here, There's nothing that proves this. He's making this up, or he's regurgitating what somebody has told him. The Morocco, the far west, meaning the empire of Morocco, had jurisdiction over North, Central, South Americas. Where? Who said this? When was this said? Who agreed to this? Nobody. Because remember, I go back to those treaties that I talked about, that I showed you, that you can go and pull down from unarepublic.com/DOCS. And there are treaties in there. And in those treaties, I have read them in their entirety. And not one time did they mention Al Morocco, Al Mexum, Moroccan Sultan. They never mentioned anything about Morocco. This is their land. They claim their territory, and they put that in writing. So anything, whatever he's talking about, and as a matter of fact, all those treaties that he showed, hold on, let's go back to it. Not one of the treaties that he showed comes before the Iroquois Confederacy. Look, 1631. None of this comes before the Iroquois Confederacy. None of it. So what are you talking about when you keep telling me that Morocco owns something, when the original people of the land, they didn't say that. As a matter of fact, they said we maintain rights to our land and give it to our descendants. Well, who are their descendants? Well, they weren't from Morocco. Okay. Grand Rising elevating. All right, let me keep going so we can take a look at this next document that he sent. All right. So he sends this document, treaty between Morocco and Great Britain. And what he says, hold on, let's be clear on what he says. He's saying that the meaning of empire of Morocco had jurisdiction over North, Central, South Americas. There is nowhere in any writing, in any kind of legal documentation that says this. This is what these Moors are making up. And the adjoining islands, and he subjugated the inhabitants here, Eskimos, Mexicans, the Moors here, calling all of us Moors. Okay, this is garbage. Because once again, and I asked the question, and he always wants to bring up, these people want to bring up George Washington's letter to the Sultan of Morocco, where George Washington is praising the Sultan for helping him with this guy who finds the Indians and kills them. Well, where was Morocco when the original people, so-called Indians, were getting stepped on in the Americas? Where was Morocco? Who were they siding with? But he wants to say, oh, well, all of us are Moors. Well, Morocco surely didn't seem like they was trying to help the original people of this land. I just want to make that clear. He says treaties are subject to international law. They are. But what treaty are you pointing to that says this? So he goes to this treaty. He's pulling this up. Watch this. And I want you to tell me where this thing says that Morocco owns the Americas. And he circles this. Treaty between Morocco and Great Britain of December 15th, 1734. Source: British and Foreign State Papers. Treaty of peace between Great Britain and Morocco. Yes, we know Britain had a treaty with Morocco. How does that say that Morocco owns the Americas? Treaty of peace between His Majesty George II, King of Great Britain, France, and Ireland, and Moulay Abdallah bin Ismail, King of Emperor Fez Mekinez, Morocco, and all the west of Africa. God bless him. Article 1, that if any English shall happen to be on board any ship or ships enemies to the emperor, that may be taken by the emperor's ships I can't see the rest of that. The hands of the English council and have their liberty to go where they please. Now, who are the English? The English are subject to Britain. But I need y'all to pay attention to this because this treaty here does not talk about land either. This treaty here is between Britain and Morocco, and Britain, the same thing. If Morocco has some British people in Morocco and they do something, then we're going to send them to Britain. We're going to put them in your hands and you can do what you need to do with them. And likewise, if we have some of your people here doing something and they have issues, we're going to send them back to you and you're going to do what you need to do. If your ships are here and they need some kind of refuge and they need us to get them out to sea safely, we're going to get them out to sea. And likewise, we want you to do the same thing with our ships. If they need help or they have issues, send them back out to sea. It's the same thing as the Peace and Friendship Treaty with the United States and Morocco. So none of this, he's circling this in big red circle, but this doesn't say that the Americas, it belongs to Morocco. Again, the topic for tonight is reading ancient documents with comprehension. And this guy didn't even read the document. He just circled something. This is probably just an image that somebody gave him and he didn't read it. Okay, hold on. He goes on to say, the 1952 case between France versus the United States of America, the nation of France says the United States is in Morocco. And then he sends this document here. This document here. Pay attention to this. Because he says, it says here that the United States is in Morocco. When you don't read with comprehension and you let people regurgitate garbage to you and then you eat that garbage, you end up presenting things showing your lack of ability to read with comprehension. So pay attention to what this is saying. International Court of Justice reports of judgment, advisory opinions and orders. Case concerning rights of nationals of the United States of America in Morocco. Listen, I'm trying to figure out what kind of juice you have to give somebody to make them misread this heading that wrongly. Case concerning rights of nationals of the United States of America in Morocco. What it's saying is there are people who are of the United States living or residing or visiting Morocco. And notice this date, 1952. And remember when Morocco came into existence. Boy, I want to show you this. Let me show you this. Hold on. Give me one moment. All right. These are the same documents. And what I have is the document in its entirety, and we're ready to go over it. Pay attention. So we can see these are the same documents. Case concerning, because he sent me a picture. And this is the thing. When people, they send you pictures or they send you like a verse of the Bible and they try to represent it as something that it's not, then you need to go find the whole document and read it for yourself. This is why I encourage you not to be reading a synopsis or something. Go get the whole document. So I just want to put these side by side so we know these are the same document. And I'm going to read from the actual document that I have. In 1952, we're not going to read the whole thing, but when you go through it, I needed to be clear what's going on in Morocco at this time. I'm going to zoom in. So by this time, the French had colonized Morocco, meaning they had taken it over. So we have already established that there is the Moroccan Empire, and then there is the state of Morocco, which is what this is. So Morocco is going through a change. They had already gone through a change because by this time, 1956, they had been taken over, Morocco. And the state of Morocco is not the same as the Moroccan Empire. Consular jurisdiction in French zone of Morocco is based on bilateral treaties. Most favored nations causes multilateral treaties. Okay, let me go down here. So let's understand that this case has to do, as we talked about, with USA citizens living in Morocco. How does this give Morocco title to America? Let's understand that United States had embassies in Morocco, and those embassies carried a certain power. So in the case concerning the rights of nationals of the United States of America who are in Morocco. This does not say United States of America is in Morocco. Public school education failed a lot of us. And to not understand this, I don't get it. That's just you were sipping on somebody's juice and you weren't reading for yourself. So let me go down here, because there's another document that I am going to read so that we can make it clear about just how what Morocco thinks of people from the Americas claiming to be Moors. We'll read that in a second, but stay tuned. This statement is the Sheriffan Empire attempting to revoke diplomatic immunities from citizens of the United States of America who are living in Morocco. So let's read it so you can read with comprehension. This is the document he pulled up, and it's like, did you even read the document? So let's go through it. All right. On behalf of the French government, may it please the court to adjudicate and declare that the privileges of the nationals of the United States of America in Morocco are only those which result from the text of Articles of 20 and 21 of the Treaty of September 16th, 1836, and that since the most favored nation clause contained in Article 24 of the said treaty can no longer be invoked by the United States in the present state of the international obligations of the Sheriffan Empire, there is nothing to justify the granting to the nationals of the United States of preferential treatment, which would be contrary to the provisions of the treaty. In other words, if your people come over here, they don't have any privileges. If any people of the United States come to Morocco, they don't have any privileges. Moving on, it's saying the French are saying on behalf of the Sheriffan Empire that the U.S. citizens do not have diplomatic immunity. All right. The nationals of the United States of America in Morocco are subject to the laws and regulations in force in the Sheriffan Empire, and in particular, the regulations of December 30th, 1948 on imports not involving an allocation of currency without the prior consent of the United States government. Okay, hold on. 1 second. Because we're reading here, they're saying if you are from the United States, you don't have, number one, any immunity. And you might be saying, but we are Moors, and we as Moors have immunity on behalf of the government of the United States of America, the treaties rights of the United States in Morocco. And so watch this. The United States in Morocco, there is an embassy there. That embassy is United States territory. So the treaty rights of the United States embassy in Morocco forbid Morocco to impose prohibitions on American imports, meaning these United States, they're over there doing trades. So they're going to own territory and land in Morocco, and then they have certain rights to import, save those specified in the treaties, and those rights are still in full force and effect. So yeah, there is a United States in Morocco. It's called an embassy. The Dahir of December 30th, 1948, imposing a prohibition on the imports is in direct contravention of the treaty's rights of the United States, forbidding prohibitions on American imports. So if we're talking about American imports, we ain't talking about, in America, we're talking about imports coming in to Morocco. That's what this is about. The French government contends that the decree of, so basically this is a court case that's going on here. And they're, one side is presenting that, you guys are being unfair by not allowing us to have imports. And the other side, which is France, they're saying, no, you can't bring those imports in to the country. You don't get any kind of immunity. So that's the fight here. This is a court case. But what I would like to do is I'd like to go into another case that shows exactly what Morocco thinks of anybody who's coming into Morocco from the Americas and claiming that they are a Moor. All right. So this is the rights of protection in Morocco. Okay. This is supposedly signed in 1880, but this is not the original document. So again, I say we like to vet everything, because when I got a document that's saying it's from 1880, then it's quoting a year after that time, then I got to vet it. 1956, okay, I got to vet that now. But let's go through what this says, because somebody else sent me this document as well, and he didn't read it with comprehension. So it says, His Excellency, the President of the United States of America, and it's just got all these other ones. His Majesty Emperor of Germany, Prussia, King of Hungary, King of Belgium, Majesty the King of Denmark, King of Spain, President of French, Majesty of the Queen of the United Kingdom, the Great Britain and Ireland, King of Italy, Sultan of Morocco, His Majesty King of Netherlands, His Majesty King of Portugal, Alvarez, and King of Sweden, Norway. Listen, I want to point this out. Okay. 1880s. I want y'all to remember that the Moors were overthrown in the mid 1800s. And I need to remind everyone that the reason why the United States was founded and started is because there were these group of Moors looking for refuge because they had been kicked out of different countries because of their religion, their religious belief. And so their whole thing, and this is why Columbus switched from Christianity, or from actually Jew or Muslim, to a Christian, because they were being persecuted. And so here comes these Moors looking for refuge, creating the United States. And purposely, it was created so that regardless of your religion, you have rights. But then people want to come in here and say, oh, this is a Christian nation. No one. It wasn't founded on Christianity. It was founded on your right to worship whomever you want to worship. That's what it was founded on, not Christianity. And so the other thing that was big for them is that there be no royalty. No royalty. And as I read this document here, we're seeing king, queen, majesty, all of this. None of this was supposed to be going on with this country or tying in with these people in this way. But here you got this document here, and it's talking about rights and protection in Morocco, and it's pairing them up with all these king, queen, duchess, king, prince, which is what they didn't want for the United States of America in the first place. So this is His Excellency, the President of the United States, General Lucius Fairchild. Okay, and he's going in here, and let's get into. I just need to scroll past all of this. Where does this talk about more of the people they've invited to whatever this is they're doing? I have notes here. Let me see if I find my notes. So I'm gonna start here because this one talks about. And by the way, you can find this document. Let me show this title real quick, and I'll come back to this page. The title of this is "Rights of Protection in Morocco." And here is saying extraterritorial jurisdiction in Morocco relinquished by the United States October 6, 1956. In other words, any power that the United States held in so-called Morocco at that time, they were relinquishing it. Going down here to page 6. Let's read this. And any subject of Morocco who has been naturalized in a foreign country and who shall return to Morocco shall, after having remained for a length of time equal to that which shall have been regularly necessary for him to obtain such naturalization, choose between entire submission to the laws of the empire and the obligation to quit Morocco, unless it shall be proved that his naturalization in a foreign country was obtained with the consent of the government of Morocco. So let's take that green part there. Choose between entire submission to the laws of the Moroccan Empire or Morocco and the obligation to quit Morocco, meaning you can look, you either with us or you're not with us, unless you have naturalized in another country and Morocco gave you permission to be naturalized in another country. Other than that, you are not a citizen. But hold on, of Morocco. I'm reading this note. As a note of March 17, 1959, addressed to the Moroccan Ministry of Foreign Affairs, referred to a note from the ministry dated October 8, 1958, in which the embassy had been informed that the Moroccan government had decided to strike all prescriptions related to Moroccan nationality from the text of the Madrid Convention. The Madrid Convention is another one of the documents that people like to send to me knowing they haven't read it, because they're just regurgitating what somebody told them. The government of the United States of America, having unilaterally relinquished certain rights in Morocco with the re-emergence of Morocco into independence in 1956, considers that in line with historical development article 15 of the Madrid Convention on Protection of 1880 has become obsolete without effect. The government of the United States takes due cognizance, therefore, of the action taken by Moroccan government as set forth in its above cited note, which the United States government understands to refer only to Article 15 of the Madrid Convention. So basically, what this is saying is if you're saying that you are a national, and by the Madrid Convention, it's saying, well, we're striking anything the Madrid Convention said. That's what it's saying. All right, hold on. There's more. Protection is individual and temporary. I'm reading from here. Regulations relative to protection adopted by common consent by the legislation of France and the government of Morocco. Let me say this again. The legislation of France and the government of Morocco. This is in 1863. Morocco had already been taken over by France in 1863. So by the time 1950 rolled around, that was definitely not a Moroccan empire. Protection is individual and temporary. It consequently does not in general apply to the relatives of the person protected. So if your great granddaddy was protected, that doesn't mean you are protected. Your great granddaddy could have been a Moor. But this thing is saying you are not protected under anything that your great granddaddy was protected under. It may apply to his family, that is to say, to his wife and children living under the same roof. It lasts at the longest for a person's lifetime and is never hereditary. Let me read that again for the people in the back of the room. It may apply to his family, that is to say, his wife and children living under the same roof. It lasts as long or at the longest for a person's lifetime and is never hereditary, with the single exemption of the Bichimol family, which has furnished for several generations and still furnishes persons who act in the capacity of brokers and interpreters of the post at Tangier. Protected persons are divided into two classes. The first class comprises of natives employed by the legislation and by the various French consular officers. If you claiming to be a Moor and under some kind of treaty concerning Morocco, which one of these are you? A native employed by the legislation or the various French consular offices? Because most of y'all sound like these people up here. What are you talking about? My great granddaddy was a Moor. Okay, well, this thing is saying that doesn't apply to you. No protections we gave him are given to you. All right. The second class consists of the native factors, brokers or agents employed by the French merchants for their business affairs. All right. French protection is not extended to natives employed by French citizens in agricultural occupations. Again, France had taken over Morocco. So all y'all talking about the Moroccan Empire, y'all, you can't own no land in the Americas because France owned you. So even if Morocco did own some territory in this land or in the Americas, it would belong to France because France had taken Morocco over clearly. I'm not making this up. I'm just reading the documents with comprehension. Some of y'all didn't even read the documents at all. You just regurgitated a picture somebody sent to you. Okay. If I have any questions, put them in the comment section. We're reading with comprehension today. Let me go back to what this person said, because I let him know that I had broken down everything he said. Everything. Hold on. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find it real quick. I had to let him know. Please don't spam my inbox. Okay, watch. Let me get this. So I say to him, all right, did you read this? You didn't even read this with comprehension. I said the United States has embassies in Morocco. There were there were rights that the embassies had there, and I told him you got to read it with comprehension because here is just somebody else who calls himself a Moor. Somebody gave him a whole bunch of pictures, and he wants to regurgitate this without reading it. So then he says, Did you know the Sultan's palace was in the University of Tampa? Can you show me some evidence showing that the Americas belongs to Morocco? That's the question here. I didn't ask you about a palace. Can you show me some kind of legal documentation, historical documentation, archaeological document, anything showing that this land belongs to Morocco? Because I have yet to see it, and I still have yet to see it. Question: did you know the United States of America says it protected native Moors here in Morocco? We already talked about this. Who is the United States? That is a British territory. That's a British corporation. The same way the United States is nothing more than an embassy here in the land of the Americas. It's a British embassy in this land known as the Americas. That's all it is. So, yeah, they're going to tell you whatever they need to tell you. Yeah, call yourself Moor, because remember, Britain is working with Morocco. See, if you don't research, then you don't know that you're going to keep regurgitating things like what this guy is regurgitating and not know the truth. Okay. He goes on to say, he drops these images. Let's take a look at these images that he drops. One second. I want you to take a look at this next image. Put this on the screen for me, Savvy. All right. So these are more notices. Let's read them. I want to read because he sent them, and I want to take this time. Again, I offered to have him come on, but again, they'll talk this stuff, but they won't come and speak and back it up. This is some document that he's saying that shows that the United States belongs to Morocco. So he says, part 2, the facts. In view of the nature of the legal issues which have been raised in the application and in the, I can see what something the government of the United States submits, that the following questions of fact arise. What are the treaties and other agreements which establishes the rights of the United States in Morocco? Can anybody read this with comprehension? Because what he's trying to say is that this thing is stating that this is Morocco. But that thing says United States in Morocco, which means that there's an embassy in Morocco, not that Morocco is the United States. What are the treaties and other agreement which establish the rights of the United States in Morocco? Meaning there's an embassy. It's in Morocco. What are the rights of those on the embassy in Morocco? Just about every country is going to have some kind of embassy in another country. And the United States has one in Morocco, or had. What are the treaties and other acts which determine the rights of obligation of France as protecting power? Here we go, talk about France again. So again, Morocco doesn't own anything. This is talking about France. This is France's territory. Morocco is now, at this time, France's territory. What are the circumstances? Some about this dispute in this case. And again, this is that lawsuit that we were talking about. treaties establishing the rights of the United States in Morocco. Again, if you don't read with comprehension, this is going to look like they're going to make you think it's something that it's not. In order properly to determine the origin and existence of the treaty rights which the United States has secured from the Sultan of Morocco. So the United States has rights secured from the Sultan of Morocco and exercised in that country without any objection. So, let me hold on. I'm going to zoom in on this because this is making it clear right here. In order to determine the origin and existence of the treaty rights which the United States has secured from the Sultan of Morocco. So they got some rights from the Sultan of Morocco and exercised in that country. What country? Exercised in what country? Morocco. Without any objection. Up to the present time, it is necessary to review historically not only the treaty relationships of the United States with Morocco, but also the treaty relationships of other foreign powers with the state of Morocco. Who doesn't understand it? Put it in the comment section. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you had the opportunity to read that, because all of this is stating there's an embassy in Morocco and there's certain rights that they have when they're in Morocco doing business. And this is what this lawsuit is about. But what it keeps bringing up is France. It keeps bringing up France because France has occupied Morocco at this time, meaning that this is no longer the Moroccan Empire. All right. Did I hammer that in? Is anybody paying attention? I just need these so-called Moors to start reading with comprehension and start regurgitating. So after this point, right, I need to go back to this. And then I'm going to answer some questions and then we're going to get out of here. But after this point, I'm telling this guy, listen, you haven't shown any evidence. Where is this evidence showing that Morocco owns the Americas? This is just stuff you made up or you're regurgitating from somebody else. So he says, United States of America rebutted France's 1952 lawsuit in a rebuttal of the United States of Morocco. All right. He says Florida in control by Spain, 1564. Let me show you what he said. Let me show you this document, this image. I need to go back. One second. Let me find my image here. Did I delete the wrong thing? I did. All right, give me 1 second. Let me reload it. I think I deleted it by mistake. So he sent this image. Okay, you're not. It's trying to be finicky now. Hold on for a second. I'm going to show you this image he sent. because the question here is, where is the proof that Morocco owns the Americas? So I'm going to show you what he sent. Right. This is the document. I'll do like this then. Here we go. He sent this. Now, all of this is the Americas. You see Florida and France here. Okay, I'm zooming in. All of this is, then he says this. He says to me, all of all of all of this is Florida here, and then this is France in here claiming territory. But look at this down here. This says Meraku. Hold on, let me zoom in. This is a dot, a speck. What does this dot have to do with Morocco owning the Americas? At what point does Morocco own the Americas? Because of, and this doesn't even say Morocco, it says Meraku. And what happens is anything starting with an M and got a vowel after it, they gonna claim it. Oh, that's us, Meraku. Yeah, anything, it doesn't matter. More, that's us. It's not you. And even if it was, that's a speck. At what point does that say that the Americas is owned by Morocco? There's nothing. So now he says to me, oh, this is funny to me, because it's like you throwing stuff at the wall. He goes, so you don't accept? No, I don't. Sister, you are more. And right now he's trying to label me. You don't get to label me, sir. No more than these people who trying to call me African American and black. They don't get to label me either. And I surely am not going to allow you to call me Moor. Or you are a beautiful Moorish empress trying to flatter me. You'll come over to our side and be a beautiful Moorish empress. Nah, I'm good. I'm the original people. All right, you can be a Moor if you want to. You can be Moorish, and people who are using this term Moorish, if you really knew law, you wouldn't even be saying that term. But here he is trying to flatter me. You come over to our side because you are beautiful. Sir, thank you, but no thank you. All right? Then he starts spamming my inbox with all of this. This comes next. See, once they can't get you, they try to flatter you. Look at this beautiful palace. Look at this beautiful Moorish palace. Look at it. Did you know this was in such and such? Sir, I asked you to show me evidence and proof that Morocco owns the Americas. He can't show it because it doesn't exist. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you, Danielle. Because I just want to make sure these Moors, no, I'm addressing you. I hear you. I see your documents. We're going to go through them word for word, line for line. Thank you, Danielle. We're going to go through these things line for line to make sure that we're reading these things with comprehension. So if you call yourself a Moor, I encourage you to start reading these things before you regurgitate them. Thank you, Royalty. I really do appreciate the love. Elevating, yeah, spamming. Thomas says he gets it good. I thank all two of y'all for paying attention. I really do. Because we got to get this. And even if you don't call yourself a Moor, when somebody gives you a document or they say this and then they just give you a snippet of it, go and find the original document. Find it. Because people are lying to you, and it's not just light-skinned people. Some of these people look just like you, and they want to get you to call yourself something because they get paid to turn it over. And some of them don't even get paid. They just bought into it. They sipped the Kool-Aid and they bought into something, and they have no clue of what they have bought into. All right. So I encourage you to read. If y'all have any questions, I want to take your questions before I get out of here. But I encourage you all to read these documents. And when these people are coming at you saying, oh, this is Morocco, can you please show me proof? That's all. I just need to have proof. Now, I need you to know they're going to spam you because that's what they do. But ask questions. You have to ask questions because there are people who are not telling you the truth. And I need to go over this so you can understand. When these so-called people are putting up leaders to you, so-called black leaders or whatever kind of leaders, you need to understand that money makes people do strange things. Money makes people do strange things. They will throw you under the bus. They will lead you to your own damnation. I don't know any group of people, specifically melanated people. Anytime I go back and I see a group of melanated people who have been mistreated as a whole, there was always another melanated person leading them into that place and telling them, come on, y'all, let's go this way. Pay attention to what I just said. And I've researched, in particular, melanated people. And every time I've researched them and what they're going through, there was always another melanated person, somebody who looked just like them, that led them down that hole. When we talk about Tuskegee and that whole syphilis thing where they injected melanated men with syphilis so they can take it home to their wives and pass it on, there was a melanated person encouraging them to take that shot. When we're talking about even, I'm going to say it, the civil rights, there was a melanated person leading you into a burning building, as he said in his own words. When you look at the Africans and what they have gone through, and they've gotten shots and all the stuff that they've gone through with the immunizations that they've had in their country, there's a melanated person leading them to that. They were paid to lead them into that. So I don't know any group, as in particular of melanated people, who have been led into a negative space where there wasn't a melanated person in front of them leading them into that. So I'm warning you. Be willing to do your own research, because people who look just like you will be the ones who guide you into hell. And your salvation is your responsibility. So you have been warned. Do I have any questions? Any comments before I get out of here? I want to thank y'all for listening and paying attention. Don't forget, we have the Trust Summit coming up June 15th, 16th, 17th. You want to be there. We don't do these often, but when we do them, oh, you better be in the room. You better be in the room. 15th, 16th, 17th June. The summit is coming up. Okay, we're going to be announcing that. We're going to have information going out to everyone who might want to be a part of it. And we are so excited about this summit because we're going to be able to introduce a lot of powerful information concerning trust, whether you are an individual, whether you have a family, whether you have a business, you want a complex trust or a regular trust. We're going to be able to give you some powerful information on all of that. You want to be with us because it's going to be a power-packed summit. I want y'all to know I love you. All right, royalty, let's go. Elevating says, thank you, Diva. I knew they got paid. Yeah, they got paid. All right. And that's why you have to be careful about who you're trusting. Your salvation is your responsibility. So I'm warning you to please, when these people are presenting things to you and just saying things, be willing to go and read and ask questions. And when they start cursing at you for asking them questions, or they can't answer questions, or they get quiet and they disappear, okay, you already know you need to back up and do some more research before you come out your mouth saying things, because you are the original people. And whatever you say is law. And if they can get you to say something that's not true, well, you just created an untrue law. And congratulations, because you're going to have to live in it. All right? Thomas says, you ain't never lying. They will sell you out for the money. And this is why I don't have any friends. All right, Thomas. There's some good people. You just got to, again, go on a spiritual level as opposed to trying to deal with skin color. Spirit. You can see people's spirit when you take time to watch how they act, okay? I want y'all to know I love you. I appreciate you. Go to UNA University, get the book, get, whether it be Back to Basics, tapping into your supernatural powers, or Beginner Law book, get the books. All right, there are seminars there for you as well. And you will also see coming up very shortly, this week coming up, you're going to see the summit on the site so that you can get the summit as well. So y'all want to get your tickets. I want y'all to know I love you. I appreciate you. We're going to see you on next Friday. I am out. Diva, give me a hug. I love you. Bye.